Okay, so we're here with Steve at 1010music.
Hi, thanks for stopping by. I'm Steve from 1010music. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Bento today. The Bento has been out for about 4 months now, and we have made some very significant updates. We've had 2 major updates since we released it. Those updates, there's so much stuff in there, I don't know if I could cover all of it, but I'll try to cover most of it. But the Bento really represents the largest product that we've ever made in terms of scope and in terms of physical size. So it's new ground for us. It was a bit of a challenge, but I think that all of us are pretty proud of where we are with the Bento. So the first thing I want to mention is that after these last 2 kind of major updates, we feel that, first of all, the Bento is kind of where it should have been, where we wanted it to be in May when we released it. And so the Bento is, we feel, at a place where it's ready for your gig. We have done gigs with it, we trust it. We consider this to be pretty stable. There's always things we can do to it. But I just want to mention that we would not have made it to this point without the incredible support of our users. The feedback, the requests, the suggestions, and of course the incredible patience for letting us roll this out. So we appreciate that. Keep that up. So let's start with some of the new things.
Sure.
One of the new things we added was this external track. It's one of my favorites. Right now it's connected to the Fireball here. And if you play the pads, you can see that the Fireball is working. And you can sequence external synths. You can bring the audio from your external synth back into the Bento, use the effect stack, mix it with your other synths and your other internal tracks. One of the next things that we did was added a simple wave editor. So this was another request from our users. And before I hit that, let me show you the cool slicer. You can now change and select your slice based on your knob position. And if you needed to zoom in, you can. And now you can kind of adjust the slice position and be a little more precise and use a knob to do it. That is something that came directly from our black box users. And we do hope to reward them and bring it back to them.
Excellent.
But if you look in the lower right, little hamburger, and you'll see edit wave. Now you get to this really basic wave editor. And you know, the point here was to create something where you could do an easy trim and normalize. So you don't have to go back to your computer. You can sample something in, at least do a basic edit set on it, and just start using it.
Yeah, that's a really helpful feature.
Yeah, and again, something that our users have really loudly requested for a long time, and it's a direct result of those requests. Probably some of the biggest improvements were in the song mode. So the idea here with the Bento is that you get 8 tracks. These tracks can be external tracks for external synths, computer, whatever you want to use. It could be a one-shot track. Now a one-shot track here can load 16 one-shots, which is as many as you can load on a black box in a single preset. Wow. So I think it's important to note. If we look at the loop track, again, there are only 6 loaded here, but you could have 16, which again is the full capacity of the black box. So a track is not 100% the black box, but in terms of usability and what you can load into it, the tracks are pretty expanded.
Fantastic.
And the song mode is kind of where we spent a lot of time. Now, you can sequence your tracks, okay? That one doesn't have, there you go. You can sequence your tracks. You can sequence a drum groove or whatever you want. You can launch those different tracks here. And you can stay here on the launch screen and just perform. And if you move the arrow here, you can navigate, and you see the white box will surround whatever happens to be playing where your pads are mapped at the time. So the launch screen is just a way to kind of build up your sequences, and you can perform from this if you want to. We do. But we also allow you to take these same structures here, these same sequences, and build it into scenes. So you're making up to eight scenes, so you build a song. And in song mode, we have a few really cool features like play count.
Can I just actually stop the playback?
Okay. Oh,
Just 'cause it's
start. I forgot. Yeah.
It's okay.
Go back to
Sounds
here.
good though. Sounds
Okay.
great. So maybe go back to the scene view.
Yeah. All right, so the one other thing that we did in the song mode is you can take these same sequences that you've built up, and now you can build up a song arrangement. And it's pretty simple. So if I wanted to add seed 7, I'm just going to select it, hit the scene button, and now I can decide what should play in that scene. Or if I use select row, I can just tap anything, and it's going to just take everything in that row. Now when I go back to the song mode, there's the scene that I just created. And I can do things like play count. So I think this one should play, obviously it should play 11 times. It probably should be the default. But if I leave song mode on and just hit play, it'll start at the beginning, the first scene, and just play all the way through. And if you want to loop the whole song, you can loop the whole song. Or the way that I like to use it is I will launch a scene, but I leave scene hold here turned on. So the Bento will just hang out on this scene until I decide that I want to switch, and I can just trigger the next one. So I have some structure, but I can kind of work with the arrangement overall.
And with each scene, do you have like sort of set parameters that you can tweak and then go back to the original version of the scene? How does the sort of parameter loading and saving work with each one?
So you can copy or cut the scene, you can move the scene over, and then you can make edits or changes to it if you like. And anything that you do back here in the launch screen or in any of these sequences, as you update this, it will automatically update what's in the song mode. So the screen is definitely new for us. It's the largest screen that we've ever worked with. We're pushing the most amount of pixels we've ever pushed. Again, we listen to our users, and we've added pads to the Bento that are both velocity and pressure sensitive.
Oh, that's good. And you also mentioned that this is a combination of all of your previous
That's right.
projects.
So there is a little piece of every single box in the Bento. For instance, the lemon drop we took and built entirely into the granular engine. And if you look right here, that is the full lemon drop engine.
Superb.
The mixer section in the Bento comes directly from what we started building in the blue box. And it's not the full blue box, but it's right now it's the basic things that you need to get going, and we'll work on building that out. The sample engine in the Bento comes from our samplers, Black Box, Bitbox, even Tangerine to some degree. The MIDI CCs are another thing that we've added in this most recent update. We have adhered to MIDI 1.0 in terms of which CCs we're using for which functions, so it should be easy to look that up. We have a set of global CCs we've assigned to every single channel. So for instance, if you send CC 10, for instance, on channel 4, you would expect that you can pan that track left or right? So if you send 7, it's going to control the volume. So we've set up a number of things that are global that will work everywhere. And then certain track types have their own types of CCs for very specific things, like the granular synth, for instance.
Yeah. And so it's a complex beast, and I think people will appreciate that you've taken time to refine it and make it the best it possibly can be.
Yeah, I hope so. It really has been a large undertaking for us, and I think that I speak for all of us. We're really proud of where we are with this. We gig with this thing. We trust it, and I think that says a lot. And there's still more to come. So.
Great.
We have another large update planned. Hopefully, we're planning before the end of the year. I can share at least 2 things. The first one is patch preview. So the idea here is that, let's say I have an empty track and I want to load something. Maybe I want to load some keys. Well, instead of having to load one of these, play, decide that maybe this isn't really what I want, pretty soon you'll be able to touch it, play the pads or send MIDI into it, and you'll at least be able to preview this patch before you load it. So quality of life things, workflow. The other thing that we are working on right now is adding the Fireball into the Bento. So if all goes well, by the end of the year, the Bento will have our full sampling engine, slicing engine, multi-samples, lemon drop, and the Fireball. So 2 synth engines plus all of the rest of the goodies that we have.
Amazing, amazing. And in terms of I/O, in terms of inputs?
So in terms of I/O, I would say that it's somewhat of an embarrassment of riches, as our founder says. If you look at the far left, though, you'll see a power button, and that's a new thing for us, and also something that came directly from user feedback and requests. The 2 USB-C ports then are used for, one of them for charging the battery and powering the device, and by the way, it does have a battery in it, and also various types of MIDI. Next to that, you have 2 TRS MIDI inputs, 2 TRS MIDI outputs, 3 stereo inputs that can be split into mono, and then 3 stereo outputs plus a headphones. So you have a lot of I/O. It seems like a lot, but when you start plugging in external synths and things, it's really handy to have that much I/O.
Absolutely, very diverse as well.
Yeah. So we've also added a few other quality of life things like cut, copy, and paste. You can copy and paste sequences, you can move song scenes around, you can be a little more productive without leaving the box. We also have added some better power management to the battery and the Bento overall. You have a battery charging indicator. The battery charging we've opened it up a little bit so you can still get a full charge while using it. So we've tried to be sensitive to that. And again, all of that stuff came directly from our users and their great feedback. So we have our users, our actually pretty amazing customer base to thank for where we are on the Bento. Of course, we did the work, but we believe we would not be where we are right now if our community had not stepped up to offer feedback, offer suggestions. And we also, something new that we've done on the Bento, which we've never done, another big departure for us, is that we're actually talking about what we're working on at the moment, which is not something that we have done really in the past. So currently we're at firmware 1.2.4, and we believe that we have a stable and reliable device. Again, we gig with this, but more importantly, we couldn't have done this without the support of our users, and so we do really appreciate the feedback, and keep it coming.
Great, and it's available now, the firmware, the upgrades are available. How do people upgrade if they already own a unit?
So to capture the firmware, to get the new firmware, you can go to 1010music.com/downloads. That will always be the most current public stable build. If you want to join our forum and maybe take a test drive or two on whatever beta we have out, you're welcome to sign up and download those. It's always free, so no charge for firmware.
Well, it's an amazing device. You clearly put a lot of time and effort into it, and wish you the best of luck with the new updates.
Yeah, thanks, we appreciate it. We're happy to be here, and thanks so much for stopping by.